Hi everyone. So I just started this channel, but honestly, I wanted to start it to talk about something that a lot of women have problems with and that a lot of women struggle with, and something that I think that no one should have to have problems with. But it's natural. It's only natural and it's only normal to have problems with these kind of things. So I wanted to touch on the topic of confidence today. So basically, you know, from my personal experience, I have never been the most confident person in the room. You cannot look at me and be like, oh wow, she's so confident and she's so comfortable within herself. You wouldn't be able to tell me, like, no one would be able to tell you that within like the past 2 years or something like that. But I feel like I've changed so much, and that's for the better, rather than just being like huddled up into a corner. And I think it's the most important thing to love yourself before anyone else. So obviously achieving that kind of mindset isn't easy, especially from the beginning. If your mindset is just, oh, I'll never be good enough, I'll never be this, I'll never be compared to any other girl, I'm not as pretty as any other girl. Like, beauty, yes, it matters, but it's not all that there is. There's physical beauty and then there's inner beauty, right? That sounds kind of like cliche, like overused, like, oh, what's on the inside is more beautiful, which, yeah, it might be a little bit cliche, but it's true as well. When you are kind and you're a kind person, you're a good person, and you show that to others and you respect others and you're polite, what do you think other people are going to think of you? They're going to think of you as, wow, she's so nice, she's so pretty, she knows what she's doing. And what if you're like, if you were in that situation and you were this nice, polite person, but then you ended up being like, you think that you're not that attractive. For another example, like, imagine a person who's super physically attractive on the outside, like they've got nice hair, nice features, nice clothing, but then their personality is absolutely shit. Like, it's awful, it's horrible, like they're rude to everyone, anyone and everyone. They're rude to them, they're not polite, they're disrespectful. Like, what are you gonna think of them? Because I'm a student myself, so whenever I come across people who I think are really pretty, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. But then some girls, they're like, thanks, or they're like, I know. Like, yes, I know is a way to be confident, right? Because you know that you're beautiful. But when someone else is complimenting you, is that the way you want to be talking to someone else? Is that the way you want other people to be treating you? So, what the point I'm trying to make is that physical attractiveness matters, yes, because there's pretty privilege in this world, but also what's on the inside counts a lot as well. Because, I mean, if you have both, you've got like the best of both worlds. If you're pretty and then you're nice on the inside, you're perfect. And even if others don't think so, it doesn't matter as long as you think so. Because, I think I'm pretty. I think I've got a good personality. I'm nice to others, and I put a lot of effort into my outside appearance. But not everyone's gonna think that. I'm not gonna be everybody's type. I'm not gonna be like making people turn their heads when they walk by me on the street, because not everyone's gonna think I'm beautiful, and that's okay. But I don't let that bother me. With that kind of mindset, where are you gonna go? So that's why I've just been trying to change myself, because around 2-3 years ago I was so insecure. It was so bad. I had the worst social anxiety. I was super insecure. I didn't know how to talk to people. I would have so many panic attacks. It was insane, and it was because I wasn't able to see me for me. I was seeing me trying to fit into someone else's standard of beauty, and it was awful, and I didn't want to have to deal with that anymore. But it's just, over time, you kind of develop this mindset, especially as you're growing, right? Because I'm a teenager. So as you grow, the hormones and stuff, but your mindset of yourself starts to change, and of other people starts to change too, because you may think at one point in your life, you're like, oh, I'm so beautiful, I'm so pretty, and I have the greatest personality. But then at another point in your life, you'll be like, oh my gosh, how do people even like me? Like, I can't even like myself. That's awful. And that's what I went through. But I was trying to change that. And I think I've successfully changed that because, you know, looking for other people's validation was just not for me at all. It was awful. I went to school every single day just dreading it because I was trying so hard to satisfy other people. And it was so bad for me and I didn't know what to do. So people grow, people change, people develop. That's what we've kind of learned from this, right? For the first few minutes that I've been speaking, that's what we've learned from this. But it's also important to acknowledge other people's feelings. Like, you should always put yourself first. And I'm sorry, this might sound selfish, but you should always do it without having anyone else come in your way. Put yourself first because you matter. You're your first priority. You only have one life, so might as well make the most of it, right? But then also, if you make like other people's feelings a priority as well, and you listen to them and you hear other people out as well, then they're gonna start thinking of you as like this saint. Not actually, but they're gonna be like, oh wow, she's so nice, and her personality is just chef's kiss, and she knows what she's doing. She's humble, but she's also confident, and she's also just emitting this ray of sunshine towards other people that just makes them feel good to be around you. That's what confidence does. It like makes you attract, like you're like a magnet. But you know, people always say that you should be confident and stuff, right? But then no one ever actually tells you how to do it. So to be confident, you should first find peace within yourself. You should find comfort within yourself. And if that means changing your clothing style, changing the way you do your hair, your makeup, like compared to like 2 years ago, even compared to last year, I look so different now because I finally found like how I'm comfortable. If I were to go out like how I looked like 2 years ago or something, I would still be uncomfortable and not confident within myself. And I'm still trying to upgrade myself. I'm still trying to be a better version of myself. But 2 years ago, I was awful. I didn't know what I was doing with myself, with other people. I was just, it felt like I was failing myself, and I didn't like that at all. But also other people would talk about me and I would take it so personally. I would be like, oh my gosh, she's talking about me. She hates me. Now I'm like, so what? If you talk about me, isn't that your problem, not mine? If you talk about me, then why am I on your mind all the time? Like, that's crazy. That seems like a you problem. But it's just something that I've developed as a mindset. And I think if you begin thinking that you're better than everyone else, if you hold yourself to here rather than to here, that makes you feel so much better about yourself. Because holding yourself to low standards is what makes you feel like, oh, I'm just not good enough. I'll never be good enough. Everyone else will always be better than me. This prettier girl will always be prettier than me. These people, these nice girls will always be nicer than me. Everyone will like them more than they will like me. So, if everyone likes them more than they like you, what can you do to change that? You can still change it. It's your life. You can do what you want. I was so unsatisfied with myself. I was just like, oh my gosh, you're never gonna make it. But I think that over time my mindset has changed a lot, and that's really helped me, but I still have a long way to go, right? But also, the way I achieved this was just by, I feel like I'm repeating what I'm saying, but it's to change the way that you think, right? Because how else are you going to change yourself if you have the same exact mindset? Sorry, I keep touching my hair. It's like making me mad. But it's just that over time, as you grow, so does your like way of thinking, right? You're not gonna stay with the same thinking the entire time. And also, I think that I tried to change myself for the better, to make myself happier, to make myself a better person, to like make myself be nicer to myself, because I was so harsh on myself. I was like, oh my gosh, you're so ugly, blah blah blah, you're so fat, you don't know anything, you are stupid, like you go out into public and all these people are better than you, and that's what I thought to myself, and I would just hold my head low and have like, I don't know, try not to make eye contact with people. And it was honestly so awful because I didn't know what I was doing with myself either, and I wanted to change so badly, but at the time I just didn't have the courage to change. I didn't have the courage to become a better version of myself, which I don't know why I didn't, but now I've changed for the better, and I think that that's something that should be able to develop who you are as a person. And it definitely is something that develops who you are as a person. If you're always feeling bad about yourself, and if you're always feeling just, oh, I'm just not good enough, I'm not as good as anyone else, then that mindset's gonna stick with you. It's not gonna just go away. You know, you just have to start thinking differently, even if it's hard at first. If at first you're always comparing yourself to other people, even if you try to have that high and mighty mindset, you're always going to be comparing yourself to other people. When you see a pretty girl walk on the street, you're going to be like, oh, I wish I looked like her. Or when you're scrolling on Instagram, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, she has such a nice nose, she has such a nice body, I wish I looked like her, blah 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 blah, right? But if you think about it, that girl you passed on the street, or that girl that you saw on Instagram, she probably has her own insecurities too. She wants to look like someone else too, probably, unless she's in that super confident mindset, which you should be in as well, because that's how you should live your life. And confidence is just so attractive. When you're confident, you just spew out this, like, you spew out so much aura, right? That people just feel drawn to you. And I think that's what's most important. Confidence is something, it's definitely a mindset, and it's something that has to be learned if you haven't started with it already, but it's not unachievable. Anyone can achieve confidence. There's different levels of confidence, but that doesn't matter. As long as you have that kind of mindset that, oh, I'm above everyone else, I'm perfect, and nobody compares to me, then you're fine. Because you can have that mindset, but you can still go and be nice to people and treat them as your equal. You don't have to treat everyone else as they're lower than you, but you can think that you're higher than everyone else. It's just the way to live. I don't know. It's just, I think that being yourself while also changing yourself for the better is what makes life easier, what makes things easier on you, because you want to be the best version of yourself at all times. You only have one life, make the most out of it, right? And that's by being confident and showing other people that you know what you're doing. You're here, you know your place on the planet, and you're trying to fulfill that. You're trying to fulfill your role as a person while also upgrading yourself. And I think that's so, so important. If you just think that you're higher than everyone else, and when you speak to other people, you speak with confidence and you speak strongly. I think that's so important, especially in a time like this where everyone's like, oh, she's mid, she's a bop. Does that purely matter? What other people's words, do those matter? Are they supposed to matter to you? When you want to be confident, are you going to listen to other people and what they're saying? Like, oh, she's mid, she's mid. Okay. Like, you think that, but that doesn't mean I have to think that. That's stupid. Anyway, this was just a quick little video on that. I wanted to touch on topics like this because I've struggled with it my entire life. I've never really been 100% confident my entire life, but as I grow, as I change myself, as I work on being the best version of myself, that's how I know that, oh, something has to change, and I can change it for myself right now if I want to. I don't have to wait for anyone else to tell me something that I have to change. No, I can change myself now for myself, because you can have so much more fun if you're just more confident in yourself, if you believe in yourself more, and that'll just make your life so much better, so much easier. Just, you can cope and have far more fun with your life. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. It's my first YouTube video, so subscribe, leave me a like, please. If you want more motivation videos, please let me know. And if you don't, then whatever, I'll continue making them. Bye.